This is a 4K UHD projector with HDR, 2200 lumens of brightness, and you can have it for just $1,500. Now, when I say just $1,500, I recognize that's still a fair chunk of change for any piece of home entertainment gear, but considering that as recently as 1 year ago you couldn't get near a UHD projector, much less one that could process HDR, for under $10,000, I think you can start to see why this is such a big deal. Today we're checking out the BenQ HT2550 UHD projector. You might also see it marketed as the W1700 in some places. And there are going to be a couple of other 4K projectors under $2,000 this year. I know that the Epson Home Cinema 4000 is available now, and the Hdmi UHT65 is going to be coming out a little bit later this year. But BenQ says the HT2550 is different because it has the best color accuracy that you can get at this price point. It claims that it can do up to 96% of the Rec. 709 color space, which is totally solid, but it does it more accurately than the others out there. We're going to weigh in on that claim and take a look at some other features to decide if this might be the right projector for you. First, let's take a look at some of the more important touch points on this projector. I'll start with the remote, which is wisely backlit. You're in a dark room, you need to know which buttons you're pressing, and a backlight is crucial. I still don't understand why any projector would come with a remote that isn't backlit. Anyway, you get complete control of the projector, including some useful keys that allow you to cycle through picture presets, HDR modes, and other features you might need to access frequently without having to dig into the projector's menu and do a bunch of clicking around. You'll also see a volume key here, and that's because the projector does have a reasonably potent 5-watt speaker built in. That'll work for you if you're going to use this for a presentation or a pop-up movie event where you just can't set up a speaker system, though I always say that a really big picture deserves equally big sound. The HT2550 comes with two HDMI inputs. HDMI 1 is the one you'll want to connect any 4K HDR source to because it's HDMI 2.0 compliant. The other input is fine for an HD source. There are also a selection of other common connections, including a USB-A jack, which could provide power to a streaming stick like the Roku Streaming Stick Plus or Amazon Fire TV Stick. The lens has a manual focus and a 1.2 times zoom, so you can fill the entire screen and get the image sharp, and this has built-in keystone correction. So if you can't position the projector dead center on the screen, the projector will square up that trapezoid-shaped image for you. The 2200 lumen lamp in this thing outperforms my expectations. You can expect a reasonably bright image with good contrast, even in a room with a little bit of ambient light. It can't do battle with a brightly lit room or direct sunlight, so you need to be able to draw some dark drapes or blinds to get the best picture if you've got windows and watch during the day. So BenQ is really beating the color accuracy drum with this projector, and based on what I'm seeing, they have every right to. You can make a really bright projector and maybe eke out some more glitzy HDR highlights than what you'll see with the HT2550 here, but you'll get that at the expense of color accuracy. BenQ visited me here at our DT headquarters and explained that the projector's processor is programmed to analyze the input signal and maximize HDR performance with color accuracy as the priority. That means that colors look more lifelike and vibrant. They are well saturated but not oversaturated, and I definitely feel like I'm seeing something much closer to what movie makers aim for us to see in the movie theater. The HT2550 also has great motion resolution, so it's a solid choice for sports as well as movies, and I mean, I keep hearing this from folks all around the office. It just looks really good. You don't have to be a videophile to see that. Just to make my observations a little more objective, I compared this projector's image in cinema mode to the extremely accurate Rec. 709 preset of BenQ's PD3200U monitor, and it confirmed my more subjective observations on color accuracy. We've measured and calibrated this monitor for our review and know it to be excellent, and the HT2550 follows suit quite nicely. If there's any ding to this projector's otherwise glowing performance, it's that it doesn't control bleed over light as well as I'd like it to. It's nearly impossible to duplicate on this video, but you'll notice in pitch black rooms that light bleeds well beyond the focused image and the screen. It's a very dim light, so you only see it in totally dark rooms, and frankly, it's easy to forget about. The only impact it really has for normal viewing is that letterbox bars at the top and the bottom of the screen are more of a dark gray than they are black, and that steals a little bit bit of thunder from the projector's otherwise impressive contrast. If this were a TV, it would be more akin to LED TV's black levels than, say, an OLED or plasma TV's black levels. I think the BenQ HT2550 is going to end up being one of the best-selling projectors this year. You just get so much great picture quality for your money. It's got really accurate color, meaningful improvements to both color and contrast thanks to HDR, and it's got enough brightness that it's going to work in most people's setups. So if you've been looking for the biggest picture you can get for your money, I think the BenQ HT2550 should definitely be on your shortlist.